I made an insanely easy audio-reactive avatar for OBS in Max 9. Hey fellow artists, with a few prepared materials, we'll build a live streaming avatar in Max in just a few minutes. So why do I need an audio-reactive avatar? I'm gearing up to live stream on Whatnot. So I'm hosting virtual Psyche Opera craft markets. To succeed on that platform, however, regular streaming multiple times a week is key, but I'm not comfortable going on camera that often, especially after a busy and sometimes messy workday. So having an audio-reactive avatar solves this issue. By the way, I left a link to my Whatnot channel in the video description box. In the past, I've had latency issues using OBS's window capture feature to display jitter windows. However, I tested my simple audio-reactive avatar in a short YouTube livestream and I didn't experience latency issues. Now, the avatar we're going to build together is simple. However, if you want to stream more demanding visuals, check out Ned Rush's video on creating psychedelic visuals in Max using Siphon or Spout to send OpenGL textures to OBS. The link to his tutorial is also in the video description box. Okay, so this is what you'll need to follow this tutorial and build an audio-reactive avatar in just a few minutes. You'll obviously need OBS and Max. You can download OBS for free at obsproject.com/download. I also left a link in the video description box. You can download Max for free and start a 30-day trial by visiting cycling74.com. Don't worry, you won't be automatically charged after 30 days. At the end of the trial period, you will lose the ability to edit your Max patches, but you will still be able to use what you've created. Link is also in the video description. You'll need a selfie with a transparent background. You can remove backgrounds for free in Adobe Express. I also left a link to Adobe Express background removal in the video description box. I've chosen this pic as the base image of my avatar. And finally, you'll need the CBG music visualizer patch that I created a while back, which is available for free download in Psyche Opera newsletter number 2, which I recently sent out again with a corrected download link. If you're not already a super sub, you can sign up for free to access this patch and more by clicking the subscription link in the video description box. Super subs, open up the revised version of newsletter number 2, which contains the correct download link for my CBG music visualizer patch. If you recently subscribed and haven't received a newsletter yet, please email me at psycheoperaco@gmail.com to request a copy of newsletter number 2. Alright, now that we have all of our materials, let's get patching. So I'm going to navigate to my CBG music visualizer that I've extracted from the zip folder I downloaded from newsletter number 2, and I'm going to open it. I have Max 9 installed on my computer. Okay. Now this Max patch has more stuff than what we need for our audio-reactive avatar, so I'm gonna get rid of unnecessary stuff. I've unlocked my patch here. First, why don't we rename this patch so I don't mess with the original, because I want to keep my original CBG music visualizer as is. I'm going to File, Save As. I'm gonna call this, and I'm gonna put it on my desktop, Audio Reactive Avatar for OBS. I'm gonna save, and this new patch has appeared on my desktop. I'm gonna close out this old patch, but I'm going to create a new folder for my audio reactive avatar. So, new folder. I'm gonna name it the same thing as my patch. You don't have to, but I am going to do so. Audio reactive avatar for OBS. And I'm gonna put my new patch that I'm gonna modify in there. And I'm going to, the selfie I'm gonna use as part of the avatar in there as well. I'm gonna open my new folder and open that Max patch. I'm gonna unlock patch. And let's get rid of stuff on the audio side that we do not need. The music visualizer has some filters and effects set up with the audio output. I'm going to eliminate that. We don't need that. We just need our analog to digital converter tilde, because we don't need an audio output for this patch. We just need to bring in audio to create the visualizer. So let's get rid of stuff here. Here's some notes. The output from resin tilde is going into an amplifier. We need that so we get a nice waveform happening in the visuals, but we don't need this filter. So I'm going to eliminate the filter and I'm just going to feed the signal straight back into that, like that. Let's get rid of that. Just getting rid of objects we don't need. We don't need a DAC because we're not using the audio from Max. We're not recording anything, so I got rid of that recording module. Let's have channel 1 feed into that. Okay, we don't need an audio module section. This is going to be a much simpler patch. Let's see what we don't need on the visual side. We just need the JIT.window output. We're going to need this chroma key stuff to make a composite of the waveform being produced by JIT.catch and the selfie that I'm going to bring into Max through JIT.movie. Let's get rid of that. We could change the look of our waveform with the attributes of the JIT.graph, so we'll leave that there. Okay, I think we're all set up. Let's make one grand on button here. Let's have one big bang as our on button. That'll turn on our Q Metro and our ADC tilde. Let's bring in a meter tilde to check that we're bringing audio into Max. Okay, now before we import our selfie and take a look at our waveform produced by JIT.catch and JIT.graph, let's check our audio settings. If my audio settings are okay. Okay, Max is receiving my audio. Okay, I'm good. I can turn that off for a second. Let's import our selfie. Go to the read message. It'll open up your file browser. I'm going to go to my audio-reactive avatar for OBS folder, click on my avatar, open. I'm going to click start on JIT.movie and click the big bang. There it is. Our avatar doesn't look quite right, so let's give JIT.move some information about the aspect ratio, and that should fix the proportions of the avatar. Let's do, I don't know, it's a square, 1080 by 1080. Let's import it again. Start. And bang. Okay. Proportions have been fixed. Now, because I changed the resolution in JIT.movie, it doesn't match with the resolution of JIT.graph, so I have to make that match. 1080. 1080. Probably running in the background. Right now we have to play with my chroma key. When I clicked on one in the tolerance settings on my chroma key, we can finally see my waveform. All right, let's do some compositing. Right now the waveform is the bottom video and my avatar is the top video. And although this looks cool, let's reverse it and see if we get better results. Again, if you like the setting, go with it. Output of JIT.scale bias, bottom video, and JIT.graph, top video. Okay, this is more of what I want, I think. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. You know what? I may go with a simpler avatar so that I can see more of the waveform. I brought a simpler version of my selfie into the folder. See, there it is. And I'm going to turn off Q Metro and ADC tilde, and I'm going to load it. There we go. It looks like the aspect ratio is a little different for this. Let's put 1920 by 1080. I think that was the original. Whoop. Read. Okay, yeah. Aspect ratio fixed. Now I have to fix it in JIT.graph to match that of my selfie. 1920 by 1080. Oh yeah, I prefer the simpler look for sure. Now, I think I want the waveform to be behind me. Everything that's black in this image is transparent, so I'm going to place the waveform behind me by just flipping these patch cables in JIT.chroma key. So output from JIT.movie is going to be the first input on JIT.chroma key, and then output from JIT.graph is going to be the second input on JIT.chroma key. And it is behind me now. Let's make, I don't want my image to be transparent at all, actually. So what's the tolerance for that? No. Okay, I guess the smaller the number, less transparent my selfie. Let's make this 0.1. There we go. That is pretty good. I'm feeding 0.1 into my tolerance settings, into the tolerance settings of JIT.chroma key. I like that. So I'm going to bang that. So when I turn on Q Metro and my audio, I'll also be banging the tolerance settings. So everything will be set up when I'm ready to use my avatar. Now, I don't like the color of the waveform. Let's play around with the look of the waveform. And I can change the look of my waveform here in the attributes of JIT.graph. All right, so let's take a look at these two attributes of JIT.graph. The first attribute we have going here is FRGB. Now, if you opened the music visualizer patch and saw another attribute like BRGB, all you have to do is, while your patch is locked, click on this pull-down menu symbol in front of the name of the attribute and choose foreground color. And that'll get you FRGB. And this will allow us to change the color of our waveform. This second attribute, mode, will help us change the style of our waveform. But let's just work with FRGB for now. The numbers that you see in FRGB correspond to the following. The first is saturation. The second is red, green, and blue. In order for this to work, you have to feed numbers between 0 and 255 into these number boxes. Now, I can lock my patch and play around with the numbers in these number boxes and hope that, oh, that's cool, that I will run into a color that I like. But there's a more efficient way of selecting colors to feed into FRGB. And that would be with the swatch object. So I'm going to unlock my patch, drag in a blank object, type in the word swatch. And here is a nice swatch with a color picker that will allow us to pick the exact color we want our waveform to be. Now, the outputs of swatch correspond to the following. First output will give us RGBA values. Second output will give us saturation values, which corresponds to the F in FRGB. Now, we only need one number box for saturation, but the first output of swatch gives us 4 numbers. So we got to unpack those numbers. So I'm going to bring in an unpack object and give it an argument of 4 zeros because we're unpacking 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's connect it. Now let's connect number boxes to the outputs of unpack. Now we're not going to need this last number box because that corresponds to alpha, and we don't need alpha values for FRGB. So now we have RGB values and saturation here. Let's lock the patch and see what numbers we get when we move our color picker in swatch. We're only getting numbers between 0 and 1. So swatch isn't natively working with the same standard as FRGB. We need to change the standard it's outputting in. So after doing a little bit of research, I found out that if we send swatch a command that says compatibility 1, it will give us numbers between 0 and 255. So let's do that. How do we send swatch a command? Well, we bring in a message object. Let's type in compatibility 1, connect it to the input, the first input of swatch. I'm locking a patch now. When I click on compatibility and move my color picker around, you see that now I am indeed getting numbers between 0 and 255. Now we have to pack these numbers in order to feed them into FRGB, because FRGB doesn't give us direct access to its number boxes. It only gives us one input. So we got to pack these 4 numbers together and feed them into FRGB. So I'm going to bring in an object called pack and give it 4 zeros. So it gives us 4 inputs. So we can connect our pack to the only input of our FRGB attribute object. And since the first value if in FRGB is saturation, we're going to take the number box that corresponds to saturation and plug it into the first inlet of pack. The subsequent values in FRGB are red, green, and blue. So let's feed them in that order. Red, green, blue. And now when I move my color picker and swatch around, the color of the waveform should match the color that I've selected in swatch. And indeed it does. I can go green, I can go blue, I can go magenta, pink. Let's play with pink for a while. All right, so I want the compatibility message to be turned on when I click my Big Bang on button. So take a patch cable from my Big Bang and connect it to the input of compatibility. So when I turn on my patch, the compatibility 1 command is automatically sent to my swatch, and then I'm ready to pick the color of my waveform. Now I can change the style of the waveform by selecting the different mode options. So now let's play with the mode attribute. This again allows us to change the style of the waveform. So let's go down to the style pull down menu. Right now I'm on points. Let's see what lines look like. It's a little bit different. Let's pick area. Oh, this is very, very fancy. I like that. Let's pick bipolar area. Testing 1, 2, 3. That's really cool too. I like that. And let's choose bar. Yeah, bar isn't working for us. Okay, so I'll go back to the default points and go back to my green waveform. Okay, so once you pick the look that you want for your waveform, you're ready to go into OBS and using its window capture feature, bring the output of your JIT window, which is this thing right here, into OBS. So let's go and do that. Okay, so I've just opened OBS and I have display capture as a source, but you don't want display capture running as a source while you're live streaming. Now, before we bring in our window capture as a source, we have to do one thing to our jitter window output to make sure that our avatar has the right resolution in OBS. So when you go to scale your avatar to fit your live stream graphics, it will not become pixelated. So what we need to do is, and I'm going to minimize my OBS window so that you can see the output of my JIT window. What I'm going to do is click on this square here and make it full screen. There we go. Now, you don't want to minimize your jitter window after you make it full screen because then it will disappear from OBS. So we need to leave our jitter window running behind OBS at all times. Now I'm in OBS full screen. My jitter window is running full screen in the background. So what I want to do now is go to my sources and click on my add source button. I'm going to select window capture. I'm going to click OK. Now we have to select what window to capture from this pull down menu. And you see this thing that says max.exe U928000301. That's our jitter window. We want that. And there it is. Now you'll notice that the avatar background isn't transparent. It's brown. And this is going to make compositing it with any other graphics we have going in OBS pretty impossible. You see, as I shrink it, you can't see OBS behind the waveform. That's because the background isn't transparent. So we got to do a tiny bit of compositing in OBS itself. This issue cannot be fixed in Max. It has to be done in OBS. So what we're going to do is add a filter to our window capture source. And you can do that by right-clicking on window capture and select filters. There we go. Now, we're going to go to effects filters. We're going to click on the add button. We're going to click on chroma key and press OK. Now, we opened up chroma key. The key color is green. And since our audio waveform is green, it's gone transparent. That's not what we want. What we want to do is eliminate that ugly brown color from the background so that the background of my avatar is transparent. So I'm going to click on key color type and I'm going to click on custom color. Now, I'm going to click on the select color button, and under basic color options, we're going to click on pick screen color. All right. And then you see a little crosshair appear as your mouse. Go to the background, that brown color that is the background of your audio reactive avatar, and click on the background. Then click OK. So now your custom color has been selected, and we need to play around with tolerance settings here in our chroma key to get our avatar back, but just eliminate that brown color in the background. Okay, so all I needed to do was take similarity down to 1, smoothness down to 1, and key color spill reduction down to 1. And now I have an audio reactive avatar in OBS with a transparent background. Very, very cool, right? And now I can move it around and make it work with whatever other graphics I have working in my OBS live stream. Now, I know what some of you were thinking. Dr. Liza, I don't use OBS to live stream. I use a browser-based streaming software like EVMux or StreamYard. Is there a way that I can use my audio reactive avatar on those things? And the answer is yes, so long as you have OBS on your computer. Let me show you what to do. So say you want to live stream in a browser-based streaming software like EVMux. All you have to do is turn on OBS's virtual camera. I'm going to go ahead and open EVMux. I guess I have to sign in. Okay, what you want to do in EVMux is go to your settings and select OBS virtual camera as your webcam. And when you do that, you can use your audio reactive avatar in web-based streaming software. You'll have to reshape your avatar in OBS so that it displays properly in the other software. And now things look perfect in EVMux. And now all I have to do is start streaming. We are done. So you are now ready to live stream with this audio reactive avatar we made with a modified max patch you downloaded from my second newsletter. So thanks for watching and supporting my work. I will see you in the next video. Chaito.